So the next thing I want to jump into are the two diodes and sockets. So I've got a 1N914 here, as is called out right there. And we'll attempt to get the leads somewhat bend even and square. And it should be this orientation. I've got the stripe to the left. I want to get these in before the sockets. Not that it's critical. Get a hold of the solder here. And a 5.1 volt zener. I've got a little bag of zeners here. I've actually got a bunch of these little bags that I got at some point from like 2 to, I want to say 30 volts. I will definitely test power at the socket before I put the 8080 in to make sure this actually is a 5.1 volt zener. And polarity matters here. It's actually going to generate a negative 5.1 volts. So the stripe to the bottom of the board. It's an awfully large ground or plane there for the minus 5.1 volts. I don't know why they did that, but that's how the board was laid out. Hopefully that diode can deal with the amount of heat, although all the voltage drop is really across this resistor, so I think it'll be okay. As I always do, I've picked out kind of matched sockets. I want to get to the corners of the board. I need a 24 pin socket. That's the one I didn't pull. Let me get a 24 pin here. That should be a 24 pin. Just kind of trying to get a socket in each corner of the board so it'll somewhat sit flush. And I'm putting these in upside down. Pin 1 is down here. I need the notches in the sockets to be down. Again, a little bit unusual compared to what I'm used to, so I need to pay attention. Need a bit of tape. I think these sockets are actually slightly different heights, and they are. That one is certainly not flush. It's better. I'll just check each one individually. Both pins on that weren't flush. That pin wasn't flush. That one was. Felt like that was flush, although I did put pressure down on the board. When I soldered it, sockets adds a potential point of failure, and I don't disagree with that. At the same time, the vast majority of the logic I'll be using in this machine are pools. They were socketed pools, but they are pools with very old date codes. Nothing says they're operational. Pay attention when you're soldering. I did a whole lot of troubleshooting ages ago on a card where I missed all the pins except power and ground on a 24-pin device. It was a 8212, and that left me super confused. I spent a lot of time with the logic probe, just confused. And finally pulled the card out, looked at the back, and went, oh, didn't solder him at all. Soldered those pins up, and the card worked. So, pay attention. Careful, don't get a 14-pin in a 16-pin position. You've done it a few times and you start to solder and realize there's two holes without pins in them. It can be really tricky to get a socket out without damaging the board, especially if you don't have a good desoldering tool. Better to be confident ahead of time. All of those. I'm going to take one quick peek here. I think that's what I was looking for. That's got that 40-pin machine pin socket in it. I think this kit was actually for the IMSAI motherboard I built, and I forgot I had it. Or maybe it was even for this motherboard. Huh. Wish I'd have thought about this in advance. Yeah, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these would have worked in this board. Oh well. It is what it is. I just need to put those in the organizer. It's not going to be true to the IMSAI. It's going to be the closest machine I have using real hardware. That wraps up the sockets. The notches are all down. Notches up here, notches down, notches up there. That is correct. So there's a nice little chunk of progress. Getting closer. So I'll wrap this one up here and see you in the next video.